encouragement and motivation given to us. I welcome you, sir. And I would also like to thank our principal ma'am, Dr. Ella Merlin Livingston, for all the enthusiasm and energy she carries for the students. I welcome you, ma'am. And I might likewise want to offer my thanks to our resource person, Mr. Ganeshan Vishwanathan, Managing Director, Vishwajyoti Technologies Private Limited, who acknowledged our invitation to direct this MATLAB workshop for our students' improvement. He has guided many projects for electrical students in bachelor level and master level. He has conducted seminars and workshops in various academic institutions and industries. Welcome you, sir. And I want to give a special thanks to our department club members and organizing committee who initiated this event. And finally, I want to thank my dear students for bringing here your energy and interest towards learning new things. Now I can tell very few words about today's workshop. Actually, MATLAB is a very useful software tool for electrical engineers, especially if you want to simulate, or we can say that if you want to check the response of a circuit before even making it in real. And MATLAB also has a programming support embedded in its tool for real-time data processing and simulations. Actually, the main aim of this workshop is here. That is, you can use this MATLAB tool for doing your final year project. Actually, our resource person, Mr. Ganeshan sir, has a vast experience in MATLAB, and he is also famous in industrial sector for his training on power system software like ETAB, then EC Power, Power World, PVSys, Homer, etc. And my dear students, there will be a question and answer session at the end of the workshop where you can clear your doubts in discussion with the speaker. Finally, I welcome you all, and I hope this workshop will be fruitful and profitable for your bright future. Have a good day. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome address. Here we have a guest of honor with splendid experience in the field of design engineering related to power system. Now we can hear a small profile about our guest from Maheshwari.
Mr. V. Ganeshan Vishwanathan is a managing director of Vishwajyoti Technologies Private Limited. He completed his post-graduation in Power Electronics and Drives at College of Engineering, Guinea in 2004. He has been managing director at Advice Solution from the year 2005 to 2001, and in the year 2001, he became the CEO of Advice Solution. From 2014, he has been the managing director of Vishwajyoti Technologies Private Limited. He has won the first prize for Best Startup Idea in the Startup Summit 2017, held at Chennai, conducted by IISF and AICTE. He has involved in VTU-funded project, an active magnetic bearing with Sri Sai Engineering College. He has been a frequent trainer to National Power Training Institute. He had conducted FDP titled Grid Connected or Islanded Pickup Synchronization in TEQIP 1.3, sponsored 5-day faculty development program in December 2019. He has been a resource person for AICTE-sponsored FDP on power system stability in Jnanamani Engineering College. During 2016, he has conducted an FDP on power electronics in Sai Vidya Institute of Technology. He is currently pursuing doctorate in Visvesvaraya Technical University, Belgium. He has given a guest lecture on image processing in VTU Belgium on October 6, 2000. He has also published a paper titled A Novel Partial Discharge Analysis in Starter Winding Using Neutral Networks in Indicon 2007 IEEE in September 2007. We are glad to have you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Maheshwari. Now I request Sir Mr. V. Ganeshan to take over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Avantika, Maheshwari, Muthukumari ma'am, and Prajit sir. Good morning, everybody. I hope people are hearing me. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, then we'll start with the hands-on session. See, actually, the thing is, I am planning to create a PPT today with your help. Okay, so you have to be active in this chat session. Fine. We are going to create a PPT of this session. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell. Fine. I'll share the present. Okay. I hope you are able to see the screen. See my screen? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, that's what, as the topic tells, application of MATLAB in electrical engineering. And actually, we are going to go live, going to online session itself on MATLAB itself. That is, we'll open MATLAB directly, and we will ask MATLAB what all you can do for electrical engineering. Okay, we'll go there, we'll ask it, and we'll fill this PPT. So comment section, I want active participation in the comment section. Let us see what MATLAB can do for electrical engineers. We'll go to MATLAB and ask. Okay. Fine. Okay. See, this is how MATLAB screen looks. I think most of you would have seen this. See what all is present in MATLAB as a on the screen itself. What all we can see, we'll see that one by one, and then we'll try to fill the PPT of what all the applications MATLAB can do for electrical engineers. Say first, when you see the screen, there are 3-4 parts, right? So here you can see current folder, where you'll have all the files that you have created or going to create will be stored here. So let us see. I'll try to save this file. I'll just type some mathematics here. See, when you see this, initially this is the script area, actually, where you'll write the code. That is called editor. Okay, where you write the code is called editor. Okay, so now let us just save this. Sorry. I have given a D drive, so I'm going to save this here as example 1. And what is the extension it is showing? It is .m extension. Okay, it is called m files. Okay, so when you are using a editor, you will be saving it as a m file. Fine, so you are saving it. Okay, once you save it, where you can see whether it is saved or not, you have to see in this folder only. So whether example is there or not, we have to see here. Let us see. Okay, I think you are able to see here, right? Okay, it is example1.m. Fine. As it is a editor, you have to there are many menus here in the top. As it is editor, you have to be making this activated. This editor, you have to make it activated, so that for this editor it will help many things here. Okay, so here I have given k is equal to 20, h is equal to k plus 20. See, okay, let me see how many people answer. Okay, did I declare a variable there? Is there a declaration or assignment? h equal to 20 we have just assigned, right? Did I declare it before assigning it? You can comment. Yeah. O- um, yes. Only assignment we have done. Okay. We have not declared it. Fine. Yes, we have not declared it. Fine. Do you think MATLAB will accept this? Okay. Let us forget about MATLAB. You just think about C programming. Do you think C program will accept it without declaration, giving a assignment? You can comment. Without declaration, C will not accept. Praveen, yeah. Yeah. So C will not accept without declaration. Fine. Okay, let us see. Let us ask MATLAB, will you accept or not? Okay. I am just asking MATLAB, will you accept? I am trying to display H here. Okay, K is equal to 10, H is equal to K plus 20. I am trying to display it. So I have already activated this editor window. I'll just run it. Okay, I am running it. Okay. Did you see here? H equal to 40, you got it, right? Yes, you got the output also. Okay, you are telling that without declaration, MATLAB is going to give you the output. That is, there is what is that? What is that called actually? It is a interpreter language. Okay, you are getting the output, right? Interpreter language. Can you type a single sentence on what is compiler and what is interpreter on the comment window? Can anybody? What is interpreter? What is a compiler? Interpreter is which even a single line, if it is there, it will run and show the output immediately, right? Yes or no? You just type interpreter single line, it'll give the output. Can you comment yes or no? Interpreter single line, it gives the output. Compiler group of complete code only, it will give the output. Yes or no? Just type it in your comment. Yeah. Okay. See, interpreter single line, it will be able to run the output, give the output. That is called duck typing. Okay, Praveen has answered. Yeah. See, it is called duck typing. DUCKTYPING. So in MATLAB, you don't have to declare. It directly takes the variable as either integer or float or anything. Without any declaration, it is going to take it as double format. DUBLE, double format. See here, you can see I told you there are 4 pieces in this window, right? Here we are able to write the code. In command window, you are able to see the output, and in the workspace you are able to see what all variables you have given here. Here I have given K and H, right? That K and H you are able to see here, and the corresponding values you are able to see. This is the workspace where the variables that is declared in the program can be seen, and you can see the output in the command window. Fine, right? So there are 4 parts. What all you have seen? One is the editor, one is the command window, one is the workspace, and another place is where the current folders are saved. Fine, these are the 4 parts. Fine. Okay, so where in electrical engineering you use codes and all? Have you written any code in your electrical engineering subjects? Any of them? I like you to comment any of you. Have you written any code until now? I think sixth semester, fourth semester. Okay. Load. Have you learned load flow algorithms? Load flow study using Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled method. Anybody? Yes. You can just type whether yes or no, because I can further it. Load flow studies have you done? Okay. I think people are from second, fourth, and sixth semester. Power systems, whether it is started for you, for any of you? Okay, okay. I'll come to that. Okay. So power system you have not learned. Okay, fine. Say load flow studies you will be using MATLAB. See where you will have Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled method. All these places you will be writing the codes in order to know what is the power flowing through the complete transmission line from generation till the distribution end. So there we'll be writing programs like using Newton-Raphson method, fast decoupled method, and Gauss-Seidel method. These are three methods usually we'll be using for load flow studies. Fine. That codes we'll be writing using M files only. So I was telling about .m file. Here we'll be writing the code. Fine. So let us go to the PPT and we'll fill what you learned right now. Okay. So first one is load flow studies we can apply. So maybe Newton-Raphson method. Okay, then Gauss-Seidel method. And then what is that? Fast decoupled method. So can we take it as a first application? Let us take this as a first application in MATLAB. We'll be using M files here. Using M files. Okay, using M files we'll be able to do the load flow studies. So let us take this as a first application of MATLAB for electrical engineers. Okay. Okay, let us see. Again, we'll ask MATLAB regarding what all what all it can do. Fine. See, even in this command window, you will be able to run small single line codes. That is, as it is an interpreter, here itself you can actually type and get the output here. Okay. So, for example, if you have k is equal to 30, okay, and you want the output of k plus h, for example, k plus h, then you will get the output. H was 40 and then k is 30, k plus h is 70. So the single line interpretation you can do here also, and you can also find cos, sine, square root, all the mathematical functions you will be able to do here. Fine. Okay, now this is about the editor. Here M file you can write, and then how about can you write everything on a single code? Will you be using functions? I think you would have used functions. Any one of you you can answer. through chat. Have you used functions main code, that is main coding, and the function code? Have you tried that? Main code and function code? Yes. So in MATLAB we can do the same thing. We can also apply functions in MATLAB. Fine. So, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think you're okay. Shall we try a function, because when you are writing a Newton-Raphson code or load flow studies, some repeating things will be there, like I have to find power flow on a line. That will be a repeating thing. Okay, so that if I have to apply, I will have to use a function file also. So where can I go for that? I have to go to home, new. Here you can see function, right? You can see the function here. You can click here, and now you can see here. See, while you are doing a function file, what all is needed? You need input arguments, output arguments, and a set of code, right? Fine. So let us do one thing. From example 1, we'll call this function. Okay, let us give a name for this function. Let us take it as addition. I'll give a wrong spelling, because add and all will be you should avoid a inbuilt function to be used here. So the name of the inbuilt function you should not use here. So you give a wrong spelling here, not a problem. And then input 1, input 2. So here input 1, and then input 2. Fine. And then output is, as it is addition, output will be single value, right? So I'll just put output only. And then what will happen? Output is equal to input 1 plus input 2. Fine. So this will give us a output. Fine. Output has to be received by the example 1. So now if you save, automatically it will give the function's name only. It will take function's name. Automatically it is taking the function's name only, right? Fine. I have saved it, and you can see whether it is added here or not. Example, and here you can see there is a small change in the logo. Here it is MATLAB logo, here it is a function logo. You can if you see this logo, you have to tell that it is a function file. Fine. Okay, from example 1, let us call this function. Fine. I am going to call the function. So added value is equal to, what is the name of the function? Addition. Input 1 and input 2. There you can it is as it is a prototype, you can just give some value. So here k comma h, the variable's name need not be the same name. And then after added value is received, what you have to do? You have to display here. Display. For that there is a inbuilt keyword called DISP. DISP is for display. This added value. Sorry, spelling is wrong. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Let us see whether we'll get the output. I'll remove this display. I don't want that to be confused. Okay. So, and I'll save here. Now let us again, as it is a editor, you have to highlight this editor menu, and then you have to run it. Are you getting it? So now the added value 20 plus 40 you are getting 60. So I'll try to change it to 20 only again. I'll save it, run it. So 20 plus 20, 40. Addition is happening because of this code. Yeah, I hope you got to understand how the function file is working. So if there is if you are using a load flow studies or any important program like screening algorithm, gradient screening algorithm in power system, you can use these function files. You have to send some inputs and you have to get the output in the main file. So this function file function also can be done. So yeah, I forgot to tell you about one thing actually. I was telling that there is no declaration, right? I was telling there is no declaration. See, if declaration is not there, I told about a word called duck typing, right? Duck typing. That is the advantage of MATLAB. Okay, we'll just mention advantage. That is duck typing. See, what you mean by duck typing? If it walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck. I don't maybe the spelling may be wrong. You just check out quacking duck. That is how duck talks, is like how it quacks. Quacks like a duck. Then it is a duck. Okay. See here, when you are using MATLAB, if this value 20 is there, right? If it adds like a integer, if it multiplies like a integer, if it divides like a integer, then it is a integer. Are you getting it? So that means that it is a this is the duck typing. You don't have to declare it before itself. That is called duck typing. Okay, you don't have to declare it before itself. That means that you have to just tell that whether you just give the value, it will automatically understand that this is a integer, this is a float, this is a double. Automatically the interpreter understands it, because as it is single line, even the single line you will be able to run. Interpreter gets to understand, once you type, it gets to understand that this is a integer, this is a float, or this is a double format. Fine, right? Okay. We'll not stop asking MATLAB about other things. What that is, it can help electrical engineers. Let us see one by one. So again, we'll go to the home menu. Okay. So we are able to we are now confident that yes, programming like C programming, a lot of programming we can do using MATLAB, that we have understood. Fine. Next, in this screen we'll just see what all is there. Just look into this screen, you'll get to know what all is there. This is the home menu. In this we also have seen new, right? In new we got the script file done and function file done, and then you can also object oriented programming. If you are good in writing object oriented programming, class files also you can create, like how you do it in C++ and Java. That class files also you can create. And then figure file, that is if you want to create a GUI, graphical user interface, then you can use the figure window, and then the Simulink file. Okay, so I have not I don't know about this app and state flow chart. You just see and find, and also the live script, live function and all I have not tried. You can try that. Okay, live script, live function, app and state flow, I can't talk about it because I have not used it. Okay, and then in the figure window I have used it. Like you can use graphical user interface. Uh, uh, just can you tell me what is graphical user interface? If you anybody know, I'll give you some 10 seconds. Type on the comment what is graphical user interface. GUI, that is called user interface. See, when you I'll tell you what is user interface. See, if you go to gmail, okay, no, I'll just put Hotmail because I've got a Gmail, it will go into that. Okay, hotmail.com. Okay, oh yeah. See, it will ask for username and password, right? That is the text edit portion will be there. Yeah, so this whole window is there. No, this is a UI, that is user interface. If you click on sign in, it will open a page, right? So this user interface you will be able to create using MATLAB. Okay, so what all we learned here, you have got duck typing, you have option of functions, right? You are able to create functions, and then are you able to use create user interface? Yes, user interface you can create. I think these three things we have seen, right? And then the last one was a Simulink file, right? Simulink file, because see, Simulink is the one that is most useful for electrical engineers. Very important, okay? Very important for electrical engineers, because there is where we do a lot of circuits simulation, and we get the output. So that is major there. Okay, fine. I hope yeah, this advantage we have got right. Okay, now now a common question I want to ask you. Is MATLAB compulsory required programming language? No. Are you asking, Anand? Can you be clear in that, whether you are telling that whether you programming language is needed or not? Is it? It is a. It has a interpreter in that which M file. It will use command, already inbuilt commands of MATLAB to run. So programming language is M file itself. MATLAB itself is a programming language. M file, we mention it as M file. I'll just type it in the command window. M file. Okay, M file. That is, it is a it has a duck typing type of writing the code, like how Python, how you use Python. Similar way, duck typing is there in MATLAB also. MATLAB, even without writing any program, you will be able to write some. You will be able to get some output from MATLAB. So it is not compulsory that you have to write programs only in MATLAB. Okay, even without programs, you will be able to do. That is what we are going to see. That is what Simulink. We are talking about Simulink, right? So that Simulink will do that for you. Fine. Next, when we see this page, okay, we got to know that Simulink is also there. Fine. Let us see whether other things are there. See here, there is a option called parallel, right? See, when you talk about parallel, that is nothing but the distributed computing. See, if there is a very tough programming running in this MATLAB, if you have a very a heavy program. The system's RAM can't handle. Okay, your system RAM will be some 8 GB, 16 GB, right? If your system can't handle that, then you have to go for parallel running. That means that you will be using another system from through either the serial port or through the internet LAN connection. You actually use another system to run parallelly your code, so that you have a distributed computing happening. Okay, so that you can use using parallel. And then okay, let us see there is add-ons here, right? If you see this add-on, you just click on this get hardware support package. Let us see what all hardware it can support. If you click on that, it will go to the internet and it will open a page. This is called add-on explorer. Okay, so what are the packages it has? For Anand, I am having a beautiful answer for Anand Manian, right? See, can I ask you one question, Anand? Whether you are whether you are allergic to programming? Can I just ask you this question? Can you answer it in the comment? Means writing program. If you are allergic to it, then we have got a solution here. That's what I'm telling you. Say, if you have got programming the problems in programming, you don't have to actually write programs in most of the yeah, C++, Java also you can run the code actually. C++, Java code also you will be able to run in MATLAB, but our MATLAB programming is a different programming language itself. It has M files where you write the program. Yeah. See, if people in electrical engineering, if you are allergic to programming, then you have these many supporting tools which will avoid programming actually. See, okay, let us take a example of power electronics. Okay, now I'll add power electronics in the PPT. Fine. Next application is power electronics, right? So this is next application is power electronics. Okay, if you are using power electronics and you know must be you know what is power electronics, right? That is triggering the MOSFET and for DC to DC converters and inverters, all those things. That if you want to do without programming, okay, you want that to happen without programming, okay, then here are the tools. You don't have to write a program for Arduino, and most probably Raspberry Pi also. A lot of tools are there where you can also you can connect the output of the Simulink to the embedded coder. There is a category called embedded coder toolbox where you can create a code for Arduino directly. Okay, so this is called, here you can see, Simulink directly to Arduino. So you don't have to write a code for most of the for example, if you are creating a pulse creation for DC to DC converter or inverter, then you don't have to use a programming. Just from the Simulink itself you can dump the code here. So let us see how let us try to do that. Then let us create a Simulink file. Let us try to create a Simulink file for a single phase inverter, okay, and then try to create a pulse and dump on Arduino. Okay, so if that has to be done, then you have to go for Simulink. Here you can see Simulink, right? You can click here. Fine. If you click on that, a page opens, Simulink. Okay, So here a lot of other previously done Simulink files and all will be there. And if you want a blank model where I can create a new, I'll just click on this. And a blank model will be created. Okay, using Simulink, what all we can do? Let us let the page come. Until then, we'll fill the PPT. Okay. See, power electronics is one of the application. Okay. Applications using Simulink. Okay, so we can go for transmission and distribution system developed using Simulink only. Next, I was telling you about power electronics, right? Power electronics you can do. And then for a electrical engineer, next one is control system, most important. Control system, right? If you want a constant voltage to be coming out, or if you want to maintain a frequency constant, if you want to maintain a constant power outage, and load scheduling, everything you can do. Load scheduling. What is load scheduling? Load forecasting. Sorry, this will come in M file. Load forecasting you can do. So, yeah, anybody know about? I think you'll be knowing. Have you heard about load shedding? Load forecasting. That is in newspapers you will find that tomorrow in these areas between this time to this time there will be no power. That is called load shedding. That is because of the load forecasting they decide whether we have to provide the power to that area or not. Okay, so you can create for your area you can create a distribution system, complete distribution system, and you have to check whether the feeder can supply that much or not. You have to check whether that feeder can supply that much or not, and if it is not able to supply, then you are going for load shedding. Okay, that is called load scheduling or load shedding. And then if you have a distribution system, then you can also do load forecasting. That is, in order to do load shedding, you have to do load forecasting. That is, whether how much power will be needed tomorrow. That is, if it is a day ahead. There are different types of load forecasting. Day ahead, week ahead, like that. So day ahead is nothing but one day before you will get to know what is the load forecasting. One day before you will get to know what is the power that is needed for the next day. Fine. So that is one thing. And then here, okay, let us see whether the Simulink file is open. Yeah, Simulink file is open now. Okay, let us see what all things are there in the Simulink library. Actually, in order to create a file in Simulink, you have to drag and drop from the Simulink library. Okay, it is a 2019A I am using. So in this is how it looks. Okay, so there are commonly used blocks, many things are there, sinks, source, these are the things that we'll be using. Okay, when you want to do a power electronics, because we are planning to do a inverter, right? So here, if you are planning to do a inverter, you have to go to power electronics toolbox. So where will you find a power electronic toolbox? In Simscape. Okay, So here in Simscape you can just go for electrical. See here semiconductors, everything is there, right? You can see this here, MOSFETs, everything you will be able to see. And then in additional components, specialized power systems. In specialized power systems you have the fundamental blocks where you'll get electric sources. See here you can see current source, voltage source, controlled current source, controlled voltage source, DC source. Okay, for a inverter we'll be needing a DC source, right? Okay, you have to just right click, add block to model untitled. So if you right click and add, it will go to that model and it will stay here. It will come, wait, are you getting it? So here it will come and join. Now what else is needed? We need MOSFETs. Okay, let us see. Here you are able to see power electronics, right? Right, power electronics. Can you see here IGBTs, MOSFETs, half bridge converter, already made half bridge converters are there, and ideal switch is there, right? So let us try to take a MOSFET now. Again, what you have to do, right click, add block to model. Okay, so where it would have come here, fine. And then what is needed? Inverter. Okay, we need to give a pulse here, right? Pulse generation. So for pulse generation you have to go to the commonly used things. Actually in Simulink there are commonly used things, many things are there. There you go and search for source. Because we need to trigger the MOSFET, we will be needing pulse generator. Okay, we have added this pulse generator also. So yeah, it has come. And then we need to add a load here, right? So again go to Simulink. In Simscape only, here elements are there. Elements means passive elements. They are talking about passive elements. Let us see whether yeah, can you see this? You have series RLC branch. This also you can add here. Fine. Okay, now inverter, you have to rotate this. See, control R, I typed control R, so that's why it is rotating. You have to use control R here. Fine. See, the flow of the current will be between drain to source in a MOSFET. So we are using a MOSFET drain to source. Fine. Now I am connecting. There is only one MOSFET here. I have to have 4 MOSFETs for an inverter. So I'll just make 4 MOSFETs. Right click and drag. You will get 4 MOSFETs. Now you can join this. Okay. You just have to drag and drop, that's all. Fine. And then we have inverter here. Fine. I want only R, then I'll choose only R and I'll give some 100 as a ohms. And in the DC supply, how much voltage is there? 100 volt I have given. Okay, let us take this as 100 volt. Even if you want to change, you can change it here. Okay. And then in inverters, see, these 2 switches will be on for 50% of the time, and these 2 switches will be on for a 50% of the time. So using, see, if you double click on the pulse generator, you will get amplitude of the pulse that you are giving to the MOSFET. See, actually practical application, when you see a practical application, then you will be needing 5 volt to 20 volt to trigger a MOSFET. Okay, so MOSFETs, it is a power electronic device which is controllable, like unlike the diode which is not controllable. This power electronic devices are controllable. So this, if you are giving, I'm planning to switch these two switches for 1/2 cycle and these two switches for the other half cycle. Fine. And then also we can get the voltage across this resistor as the output. Fine. But in order to time it, I want a particular hertz to come out. Let us take it is 50 hertz. So if I have to convert frequency to time, what we'll do? Let us see the comments. Frequency to time. Can you please help me in converting frequency to time? How will you do that? Anybody? Praveen? Yeah. F is equal to 1 by T. So T is equal to 1 by F, right? So now let us see. F is equal to 1 by T. Anand, thank you. And I'm going to try that. He told F is equal to 1 by T. Anand had told F is equal to 1 by T. I am planning to have time, right? So 1 by 50 I'll make it, okay, because 50 hertz I want. So the period is total period in seconds they have told, right? In seconds they have told. So I'll make it 1 by 50. So I do see, can I give this way? Yes, you can give this way. You can automatically, it will automatically convert to 0.02 and it will stay here. That's what is duct typing, I told you. You don't have to do any calculation and then 1 by 50 calculator put here. No, nothing like that. It is duct typing. It will automatically know if output is a float, it will take it as float. Okay, and then I want these two to be on for 50% of the time and these two to be on for another 50% of the time. So that's how inverter works. If I want to convert DC to AC, I think you have inverters in your homes, right? It'll battery will be there. From battery, this is a battery, and from battery a output will come from the UPS. You have all the UPS in your system, sorry, for the system or for your home also. It will have batteries. Battery will be converted, battery will be used to convert the DC to AC. Let us take this DC supply as battery and it will be converted to AC here as single phase here. So these two switches must be on for 50%, first 50%. These two will be on for another 50%. Then only the current flow will alternate. If this is on, these two are on, then this will become a short circuit. This will become a short circuit. So positive current will flow through the resistor. If these two are on, then the current will be in this direction because this is the direction of flow of current. So then it will be inverted. Fine. Well, let us take also we need to measure the voltage, right? For that also we have got options in Simulink. You have got measurements. That what you want to measure? Voltage. Yeah. Right click, add block to model untitled. Again it will come here. So positive I will be connecting to this point, negative I will connect to this point. Then where is the scope? I have to see the output in the scope, right? That also I can do by using here in the common. You have to go for sinks, and then again scope you have to right click and add block to model untitled. Fine. Okay, I am able to do that. Fine. Right. So here I was telling you 1 by 50. What is the percentage, total percentage of pulse width? 50%. I told you about 50%. What is phase delay? These two will not have any phase delay because it is starting from the starting itself. start the on time, so it will not have any phase delay. Okay. But these two switches, if you take again, the period is again 1 by 50 only, 1 by 50 automatically it will take. And what is the again another 50% only is there, so we have to give 50% only for the other two switches. And the phase delay is here we have got 1 by 50, right? 50% if these two switches are on for the first 50%, then the phase delay will be there for this switch, these two switches. So how much is that? 1 by 50 divided by 2, right? So I'll take it as 1 by 100. 1 by 50 divided by 2 is 1 by 100 only, right? I'll make it as 1 by 100. Fine. Let us see whether it works or not. Okay, let us see if there is any error. Okay, I'm running this. Okay, you are getting a error here, right? Initialization commands cannot be evaluated. Okay, what is the problem? In this switches we need to have a as it is a discretized output you are giving. It has to solve for every microsecond. For example, see, I forgot to tell you about many things in this, that if you okay, let me ask you a common question to everybody. Do you think Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law are all accurate? Because it is relevant to what I'm going to tell you now. Is it accurate or approximation? Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law. Whatever you know, you tell me. Yes, you know the answer or you don't know the answer, whatever, any one of you answer. That is, do you think, yeah, exactly, very good. Okay, it is approximation. You are correct. Jaiprakash, Praveen, yeah, it is approximation only, it is not accurate. Okay, how will you, what is the accurate way of implementing solving a electronic that is electrical circuits? What is the accurate way? Any guesses? You just guess and tell me. Any guess? Have you got in your syllabus about field theory, digital value measurements? Yeah, d by dt, you are exactly correct, almost correct. Digital value measurement means discrete, you just remove that digital and you can take it as discrete value measurements. Okay, so that is a differential way of solving the circuit. Have you learned about field theory in your curriculum? If yes, any of you, field theory? About Euler's equation, Maxwell's equation? Anybody? Yes. Okay, I think you must be in 6th semester. Must be you are 6th semester person. Other people maybe to second. Yeah. So Euler's and Maxwell's, it solves, right? It actually solves the electrical circuits, inductive, capacitive, in nature. Everything it will solve as a partial differential equation solution, right? D by dt, d by dou by dou t, whatever those equations we use it to learn, right? It is a little difficult to understand that Maxwell's and Euler's equation. Yeah, that is the accurate way of solving a electrical circuit, right? So you understood that all these Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law, all those things, it is approximately estimating the voltage, current, all those things. But when it comes to Maxwell's and Euler's, then it is actually the accurate way of getting the output. So here in the background you have got a partial differential equation solving this particular circuit to get the output. Okay, there are you tell it as PDE, partial differential equation. See, if you are very good in solving PDEs and stuff like that, you will get lot of jobs here in MathWorks, all those things, because if you are very good in solving circuits in a different partial differential equation format, then you will have lot of knowledge on the field concept. So that's why people will take you in that, that is MathWorks, these kind of companies. MATLAB is a MathWorks product only. So these kind of companies, Hydrocubic, there are companies like Hydrocubic in Canada. So these companies will look for the people those who know the PDE based solution. So I just wanted to tell you right now itself, because I don't again I have to remind you about that. So that's why I told you here itself. So now as it solves in a form of PDE, that is partial differential equation, you have to sample out, because d by dt, you have a dt there, right? Small discrete output only you have to give it, right? So for that reason there is a option called Power GUI here. Power GUI, I have to search it, so that's why must be here. It will be in Power Electronics. Yeah, here. Can you see this? I think you'll be able to see this. Yeah, this Power GUI you have to add in the either continuous or discrete. You have to use Power GUI. Let me make it as discrete, and the sample time is some microseconds, because if I give a sample of 50 hertz itself here, what will happen? Let me ask you another question here. See, if you're having a 50 hertz wave, if you want to have small pieces from that 50 hertz wave, whether you will give a higher frequency for sampling or lower frequency, you just answer me in your chat box. Whether you will go for higher frequency or lower frequency, more than 50 hertz you need for sampling out, or less than 50 hertz. For a 50 hertz wave, if you want to sample out, that is, if you want to take small samples out of it, whether you need a higher frequency or lower frequency to sample out a small points from the wave. Anyone, you just answer something. That is not a problem. If you are okay, I'll tell. Okay, I'll leave that. I guess no. It must be higher frequency, right? Yes, Sriram is correct. See, why? Yeah, must be Anand and Praveen would have thought that lower time, lesser time. I think that's why you would have thought that it is lower time. Lower time is correct. Higher frequency is right. Right? Fine. Yeah, because if you want to yeah, lower time, I think Anand and Praveen would have thought that here I have to give a lower value. Yes, you have to give a lower value, but the frequency will be higher, right? Correct. Okay, so you have to have higher frequency to sample out small pieces from the inverter, and the solution will happen. Fine. Now let us try to run it. Whether because of this Power GUI it gave a problem. Now let us see whether it is running or not. It is showing compiling here. I think it has, yeah, now it is running also. For 10 seconds it has run. Okay, can you guess and tell me how many 50 hertz wave will be there in in 10 seconds? Any guesses? Okay, in 1 second, how many waves will be there for a 50 hertz wave in 1 second? Anybody? Just an answer. Either it is 50 or 1 by 50 I am giving you choices. Either it is 50 or 1 by 50, 100. What is the answer in these three? How many waves in 1 second for a 50 hertz wave? It is 50, right? Because hertz is nothing but number of the periodic wave in 1 second. That is what is hertz, right? So what will happen? How many waves will be there for 10 seconds? It will be like 10 into 50, 500 waves will be there. I have to see that here inside this scope. See, voltage is measured, and in this scope, see, there are 500 waves. I'm not able to clearly see this. Yes or no? So in order to see a wave properly, I'll use this. This is a binocular. Okay, you just think that as a binocular only. It is a zoom device. You just tell whenever you see this, you just think it is a binocular. Here, you just make this bigger and see. Okay, can you see that positive 100 and negative 100 has come? What is that? I had given a straight, let us see that also, what was the input. If you want to see multiple outputs here, you double click here, give this and then number of input ports you increase to 2. Okay, and then you connect this. You have to measure the voltage in the DC side also. You measure. Okay, and I'll give it to the second one. I'll not confuse you. I'll give it in the first one the input, and I'll give this for the second one. Now again I have to save it. Oh, I didn't save this at all, right? Example 2. Fine, run this. Oh, the display is not there, right? I have to go to display. I have to increase the layout to 2 pieces. Now I'll get, okay. See here, 100 is the straight line. I think you are able to see the straight line of 100. And then this same 100 volt, we are using a inverter, and we have changed the direction for every half cycle. One half cycle it is same 100, but in the other half cycle it is minus 100. This is called inverter, right? DC it is converted to AC. Fine. So this is DC to AC conversion. So inverter has happened now. I was telling you about something like if I want to program that on the hardware. Okay, here is the option. You can see this. This is the option for embedded coder. Okay, if you want anything to be connected here, you have to use the Arduino embedded coder toolbox, and you have to connect this output to this because you need to switch on the MOSFETs only. This trigger things, you have to connect it to Arduino's input output port and directly code that on the Arduino like this. If you click on this, it will directly code that. Okay, here I have not done anything for that, so there is no hardware connected to it. I will not be able to program it. So if you are allergic to programming, you don't have to worry. Even that MATLAB will take care. So let us see. So this is the power electronics application, right? Inverter, we have developed a power electronic application, and also we got to know that it has a embedded coder in it, right? So and then we didn't see about the transmission distribution, right? How will a transmission distribution look actually? What all will be there in a transmission distribution network? Let us see that. I'll just Google it. Transmission distribution network. Okay, I will see images. I will get to know. Okay, I'll go for a single line diagram. Single line diagram. Okay, okay, I'll take this. Fine. Okay, here they have given 132 kilovolt range, right? 11 or 132 kilovolt range. Can anybody guess what is the transmission range in India? That is, what is the transmission voltage range in India? I'll give you some three choices. 400 kilovolt, 700 kilovolt, 20 kilovolt. What is that? Which one you are using in India? 400 and above. Okay, that is the kilovolt we'll be using. Yeah, 400 and above. 700 also it is there in India. 700 kilovolt also is there. Fine. Good, Anand. Yeah, 730 also is there. Yes, yes, that's what I told you. Yeah, yeah. So now that yeah, here. So the range here is 700 kilovolt, and then here it will be 66 kilovolt, 66 to 22, 22 to 11, and 11 to 400 415 kilovolt, like that we'll be having, right? So what all is needed? Generator is needed, transformers are needed, and again transformers, mostly transformers, and then at the end the loads are needed. So whether this can be developed in MATLAB, 100% yes. Okay, I think when you are seeing the sources, electric sources in MATLAB, I think you would have seen that also. Let me show you that. See, can you see this three-phase source? Okay, so this can act as a generator also, right? It is a three-phase source. Generator is a three-phase source. Let us see. I am just adding it to. Yeah, I'll open another example so that Control N, and I paste this here. Okay. Okay, in order to this is for transmission distribution. Okay, I'll just double click on this. Okay, see now you can see here what is the phase to phase voltage. What we can give, let us give 730. And what is the hertz? In India it is 50 hertz. Okay, and you know about the lumped parameters, right? For the line, that lumped parameters, if it is available, then you can fill these. What is the resistance, what is the inductance, what is the base voltage, everything you can apply here. Okay, this is a three-phase source. Okay, and then whether we have a transmission line elements, we'll go to elements and see. Can you see here? Here it is the distribution line parameters. You can actually add to the lines. Okay, so this, if you add, let us see. Okay, I think we'll be able to add this. Right, so I have added. Now what is the number of phases? 3 is the number of phase. Do you remember how you give for a transmission line, what is the ohms per kilometer? That's what we give, right? What is the inductance per Henry per kilometer? What is the farad per kilometer? Like that only we'll be giving in the in our in the transmission line parameter, so that we can give it here. Okay, so ohms per kilometer we can provide in this point. Okay, and then total length of the line, say and from Neyveli it has to travel and then it has to reach any place like Chennai or something like that. So how many kilometer it is, so that you have to fill it here, and I'll leave it for like this itself. I don't want to change much. Okay, so I am able to get a transmission line parameters. Next I have to connect it to a transformer, because it is 700 kilovolt. I have to actually go for 22 or 66 kilovolt, so I have to use a transformer here. So let me check whether transformers are there. So here you can see, right, there are 3-phase transformers available. Yes, then we can add the transformers also here. Okay, for the transformer, okay, you can see here, you have to see the parameters here again. So nominal power and frequency, that is kVA, VA only will be mentioning, right? All these transformers, how will you mention? VA, right? So how much VA it is there? So here 250 megawatt we have mentioned here. And then for the primary, what is the voltage, and secondary, what is the voltage? Here it is 735 volt, and then here it is 215 volt RMS. They have mentioned it in RMS. If you want to change, no, you can change it here. And then RM and LM, that is for a transformers resistance, internal resistance and inductance you can mention here. Then what else will be there after that? Let us if you want to bring it down to 400 volt, yeah, you can just mention here 415 volt. Again the another transformer you can use, and then you can increase it to 11 kilovolt or anything like that. Okay, let us take this as 400 450. Okay, I am actually avoiding all the other feeder system, everything, and just I am connecting it to the load. Okay, so let us see whether 3-phase load is there or not. Yes, are you able to see this? Yeah, you have 3-phase load also. Okay, let us connect the 3-phase load. Fine, and then here it is grounded, so I have to ground here also. That's the simple way of using why I need a. Again, if you want to see where grounding will be there, in this itself, element itself, you have a ground. You add this here. Okay, short all this if it is a star connection, and then add this ground to this point. Fine. So a small transmission system with I have actually I have not used many feeders, all those things, because it is similar only. Again this this distribution system line will come, and then again this transformer will come. Like that you have to add multiple places, and you have to check the output. Okay, so now as this is a load, right? It is parallel. Okay, now let us see whether it is working or not, and also we have to get the voltage to be measured here, right? Okay, let us see for 3-phase any measurement is there or not. Okay, in measurement, when you see, you are able to see that there is 3-phase voltage and current measurement is available. So let us use that only. So where all we'll measure here. We'll try to measure here voltage and current. Like this you can connect it to the, as it is measurement unit, it will not take any power. Like that you have to pre-consider. Okay, it will not use power from the actual, but actually sensors will take power, but not much. Okay, and then you want to see that on a scope, right? You add the scope here. Fine, you are adding the scope. If you want to see both current and voltage, you have to increase the number of ports, and layout also you have to increase. Apply. Fine, then you will be able to get voltage and current both. Fine. So let us try to run it again. Whether what is the problem? Again the initialization problem is there. We already know what is the solution. So let us just take the power GUI already which is there in the inverter, copy it and paste it here. Fine, let us see whether it is running. Yeah, I think it is running. And then let us see whether three-phase wave is there or not. Okay, you are able to get 6 6 into 10 power 5, that is 600 kilovolt, and then here 250 amps you are getting as the voltage. Okay, and then after this if you check, it will be different. Okay, after the distribution system, voltage will be there but current will be reduced. Similar way here also, if you check, it will for every place you can connect it. So this is transmission distribution. If you want to create, yes, you can create here. Then what are the problems that you are okay, I think we have to go to the PPT again. Okay, so I think T&D you got to know how it is working, and power electronics you got to know. And what about control systems? See, now why control system will come into this is like if you are having a voltage coming out, if you want to give a load, if you want to connect a particular voltage to be coming to the load, or if you want a particular current to be coming to the load, then you have to control that. How will you control that? You have a reference voltage and the actual voltage. Okay, let us see. I'll just go to PI controller. Okay, PI controller. Usually this is the basic traditional controller you will be using. Can I know E3 is it? E3 and E6 is nothing but number of zeros only. 6 zeros and 3 zeros. Anand. Yeah, I'll ask you. I was asking you something. Yeah, have you learned the control system in your any one of you? Have you learned control system in your domain, that is in your curriculum? Yeah. Okay. I think PI controller you would have learned, right? P controller, PI controller, PID controller. Yeah. Fine. So that controllers. Okay. Let us take any one of the controller. How will you use a PI controller? See, there will be set point, that is what voltage I have to maintain or what frequency I have to maintain, whatever it is. You just take that as a set point. This is the voltage I have to get from the inverter. Actually, what is coming out from the inverter? Okay, here process is there, no? That is the process is the inverter. Okay, for example, I'm just telling you the inverter concept only. Here, a single phase inverter, as we have done, we are using that. Okay, and then this error I am giving it to PID controller. Okay, this is PID, P controller, anything. The input for any P controller, PI controller, PID controller, and advanced controller also, if you take, the input is error only. So if you give a error to it, then it will have gain parameters of Kp, Ki, and Kd. This is the gain parameter which you will be getting it using tuning. Then you give some input to the process. Here input, when you are using a inverter, the input will be PWM, that is pulse width modulation. You will be giving a PWM as the input to the inverter, and then again you will check whether the inverter's output has attained this set point or not. If no, then again you have to change Kp, Ki, Kd, like that. Okay, so this is how the PI controller works, control system. So whether this is there in our MATLAB or not, let us see. See, if you go PI, okay, and let us go to control system toolbox. There are a lot of toolbox, right? Yeah. So the controller. In this itself, our control system toolbox will be there. Yeah, here I'll just search for it. PI controller. Okay, here you can see this. There are PI, PID, all controllers will be there. So if you want PI controller, if you want to change this PID controller to PI controller, you can choose here itself in this. If you want only PI, you can change the controller here. I'll just take it and I'll go to that block. Fine, here you can change it. Either you can use a PI controller, P controller, I controller, or any controllers, any set of controllers you can use it. Okay, now for example, if you are using for a inverter, just I'm giving an idea, but I'll not be able to do that immediately because it needs a lot of tuning here. Okay, here this PI controller is there. I have got a output voltage. Okay, this voltage I want to be 100 volt or something like that. Okay, so for that what I have to do, I have to compare that, right? So let us say let us take a some, yeah, I'll take this sum. Okay, this is the actual output. I need 100 volt, 100 volt as the output. For example, I'm just telling you as an example because here inverter output is coming. I'm just telling you as an example. Here 100, you can't give a constant output as 100 here because it is an inverter. I'm just for example, I'm just mentioning it. That's all. Okay. So here the measured voltage you are giving it to the subtraction, because the difference you have to give it to the PI controller, right? So PI controller, so here you have to give the reference. So how will you give? I will take a constant. This is a constant. Okay, how much voltage I need, that is a reference, right? I'll give 100 volt. Okay, so the difference, whatever error is there, I am giving to the PI controller, and then this will be given to the PWM generation for varying the pulses in order to maintain this 100 volt. So this is how the control system portion will work for any power electronic application. Fine. So the third one, the power electronic application also we are able to do, and this embedded coder also we got to learn it. Fine. Where is a PPT? Yeah. Fine. So power electronics control system, embedded coder also I just told you an introduction about it, right? So except this, for example, you have got a grid here. You want only without a grid. If I'm using a solar or a wind power from the solar and wind, if I'm able to get the output using a inverter or a converter, whether I'll be able to do? Yes, you can do. For that also, renewable energy, you have got it here. Okay, so solar, here DC will be the output, and wind, there are different turbines like DFIG is there, that is doubly fed induction generator is there. So this you can give what is the wind speed, what is the pitch angle, and generate the wind also. So solar, wind also is there. Okay, then I'll add that also here. Okay, so renewable you can use renewable energy in MATLAB. Fine. Okay, and then we are talking about renewable, right? Then what if there is a power quality problem in the transmission line? If there is a voltage related problem, what you'll do, you will inject using series fax devices, and if there is a current related problem, then you will use shunt based fax devices. So here you can see all the fax devices are there, that is STATCOM is there, CCC is there, static SVC is there, and then UPFC, both series and shunt compensation can be done using UPFC. So fax also is there. If there is a problem in a transmission system, if there is a voltage decay or harmonics elimination in the distribution system or in the transmission system, if you are using it in the transmission system, it is fax. If you are using it in the distribution system, that is called distributed fax. Okay, you can note it down. Distributed fax is a distributed fax. Distributed fax and fax. If you are using in transmission system, it is called fax. Okay, so fax devices you can use as a in Simulink only. Simulink is more that is it every 6 months lot of Simulink libraries are added actually. There is a company called HydroCubic. There is a company called Cubic which actually generates a lot of Simulink blocks and adds to the MATLAB. They actually are working for MATLAB. They actually produce Simulinks and supply to the MATLAB software. Okay, so yeah, fax also we can use. Okay, then what else is there? We'll see that. Okay, and then drives. See, if you are having machines, AC drives, DC drives, vector control of induction motor, there is direct torque control of induction motor, everything we can generate, develop and control it. These are all inbuilt actually, but we can also generate our own space vector control using different inverters, using multi-level inverters, all those things, right? So that also can be done using MATLAB. So I'll wind it up with this, the drives. Okay, so in using MATLAB, almost every concept of electrical engineering you can use. I think we can wind it up. I think because of the time constraint, even a lot of other applications also is there. Actually, optimization toolbox is there, and in control system you have got fuzzy logic control, ANSYS control, optimization toolbox. All this you can use it for MATLAB. For electrical engineering, these are the applications that you can use using MATLAB. I think I'll wind up this session. Thank you for being so patient to hear all this application, and I hope it was useful. Kindly comment whether how much useful it was, and yeah, my contact number. This is my contact number. You can note it down. If you got any doubts, you can WhatsApp me, and we can discuss on this. Thank you everybody for hearing me patiently, and also being interactive by answering here. Yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you, sir. Splendid and effective session on MATLAB.
Thank you. I'll also upload this. Yeah, one second. Those who have not, some of the people, I think 14 15 people, they were not able to actually connect. I'll share the link of YouTube with your professors, because I've recorded this session. I'll upload in YouTube, and it is private. I'll not be making it public. I'll make it private. It is unlisted YouTube link, and I'll share that link to you through your professor. Thank you everybody.
Sanskrit is not business of Vidyus, but parent of all others. Now I request Mukesh, a student of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello everyone. I heartily thank our beloved Director Sir, Dr. N. Maria Wilson, for providing us such an opportunities for the student community. And also thank our Principal, Dr. L. M. Merling Livingston, for guiding us. I thank our Chief Guest, Mr. Ganesan Viswanathan, Viswajyoti Technology Private Limited, for an informative workshop. I thank our workshop convener, Dr. T. Muthukumari, HOD of EEE Department, for organizing such a workshop for the development of our EEE student branch. And also thank our other event organizers and all the participants for the workshop. Hope you had a wonderful workshop. Thank you. Have a nice day.
I extend my thanks for each and everybody. Thank you, valuable experience from listening to. Thank you once.
Students, just wait for some time. Just 2 minutes. I have to take a photo section. Can you kindly turn on the video, please? Muthukumari ma'am?
Yeah, yes.
Ma'am, can we have a photo section?
Yes.
Sir, Ganesan sir.
Actually, I'm not connected to
Bhaskar sir?
a laptop. Actually, sorry.
Okay, sir. No issues, sir.
I'm very sorry.
Bhaskar sir, can you just take a...
Students, please switch on your video.
Students, please switch on your video.
Pioneers.
Nobody's wearing ID, I think. Huh? No proper dress code for you.
Yeah, taken, ma'am. Taken, ma'am.
Sent to Kottamarai, sir, for approval. Okay, ma'am. Hey, no problem, Praveen. Yeah. Others, please switch on your video. I have
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
the
Mukesh,
last.
Anandamani, and everyone has switched on the video.
Yeah.
Praveen Kumar.
After 4 months, I'm seeing your face now. Others, please
Yeah,
switch on.
Hello.
And special thanks to all final years and second year, third years. Okay, ma'am. Hey, என்ன டக்குன்னு டச்
Yeah, எடுத்துட்டேன், ma'am, எடுத்துட்டேன்.
You record both proof, Prajay.
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure. Ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, about that.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Ganesh, sir, for your wonderful presentation on MATLAB.
Ganesha, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I didn't use the laptop.
Thank you, Ganeshan, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can
Thank you, sir.
your videos. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Prajit, can we wind up? Okay, thank you
Yes,
all.
ma'am. Hello?